This week on the program, a movie so bad they made it twice. It's Exorcist, the beginning. I'm Father Jupin.
I am Steven Sadak Skarsgård.
Eric Siska, the beginning.
Chris Dominion.
And we hate movies.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
Sometimes that is better.
Zombies have entered the building. They're at the door. They're coming in.
It is time to keep your appointment with the Wicker Man.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
He's sick fucks. You've seen one too many movies.
Nah, Sid! Don't you blame the movies! Movies don't create psychos! Movies make psychos more creative!
Put the fucking lotion in the bag!
It was an excellent day for an exorcism.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to We Hate Movies. Thank you for tuning in. As always, that's right. We're in full-blown Halloween Spooktacular mode, ladies and gentlemen. And this week, we're talking about a real rotten piece of shit movie. It's Exorcist, the beginning from 2004, directed by Renny, Harlin. And just to be clear, we are not talking about Paul Schrader's Dominion, the prequel to The Exorcist. Two different films, folks. Two different films.
Both bad.
Yes.
Yes.
Hard to remember either, really.
And both Stellan Skarsgård, and what the legend you guys were regaling me with was a Schrader kicked that shit canned out of there.
Shit can. Morgan Creek Productions was like, hey, we get the fuck out.
And then this tanks. He gets $50 from them to finish his original version.
Yes. And then that
comes
tanked.
And then that tanks.
And that also it's a terrible fucking idea. Nobody cares.
It's sort of as crazy of an idea as making an Exorcist film now in 20.
Oh no, dude. Guess what, dude? Two girls though. What about that? Now
fuck
there's
him.
two of them,
dude. That's like David Gordon Green like pitching to Warner Brothers.
Yes.
Like, all right, get this. The first Exorcist movie, Reagan possessed.
Yeah,
Poor child, poor young girl. How about this? Exorcist believer. Two girls get possessed. Howard, you've done it again. These days go on. Like,
Here's exactly $12 million.
and you know, whatever. We are still basing that all off of trailer reaction. None of us have seen that movie yet.
It could be good. I don't know.
But I mean, it looks so bad.
Now the question is, when you're trying to get the ghost out of the demons out of these girls,
Yes.
are you doing one at a time, or are you doing like two separate priests in two different rooms?
No,
like
you
in
do
the other
both.
I'm not at that part yet. Could you please?
You're fucking it up. You're going too fast.
We're not in sync. Okay. Clap, clap, clap. Here we go.
It's an Exorcist dream, right? Two girls at the same time. My God.
All right, wait, Jerry, hang on. Stop. Just stop reading for a second, Father Jerry. All right, hang on.
Okay, what?
Did she tell you that your mother sucks cocks in hell yet, or what?
No, my mother eats ass.
Keep going.
Yeah, I got a little bit of vomit in my mouth. It's demon vomit. It tastes pretty. It's not good. It's not good.
Dude, there is a moment in this motion picture where they definitely try to do a like one up the your mother sucks cocks in hell line.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe I'll find it in my notes when we get to it, but it's just such an obvious like, hey, did everybody see the first movie?
Your father eats ass in heaven. No, that doesn't work. Nope, that's not right.
You guys
They'll
are
be eating ass in heaven.
These are better ideas for a movie. Give me a movie.
I split your father like a turkey one time.
Oh, yeah, well, he would have probably liked that.
Give me a movie in hell where the mother is sucking cock. and it's
That's it,
just 2 hours of her sucking cock.
Uh-huh.
Oh, they have those movies.
Yeah.
Those
Dude,
DVDs
really?
are usually like 6 hours long, though.
A compilation of scenes.
Okay, I have to go to the
Yeah,
video
not so much
store.
a movie per se, but a compilation of scenes strung together by a loose theme.
I feel bad for Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah.
I remember very clearly, like, in the 5th grade, like I did a fucking terrible math test. This lady gave me a test. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
This
you
lady,
teach you
was
math?
it a teacher?
It was a
or
teacher.
some
It was my
lady
math
gave you-
teacher. She's
All
like,
right.
"Here."
You turned to Stellan Skarsgård, who was also in class with you, and you said,
this sucks.
But I failed it. But I failed it really quick because I don't know any of this shit. Like
Right.
X, Y,
Yeah.
493. Here you go, sweetheart. And
if you fail fast, it should be a D.
but she comes back. She's like, "Oh no, you could do better than this. Try again." And I'm like, "No, I failed the test. I'm going to only fail this test again."
Yep.
That is the Stellan Skarsgård. Like, I already failed. Can I just go home now?
Mary, what are you doing? That little fat kid called me sweetheart. I'm gonna make him do it over again.
Here's my test, sugar tits.
I once had a math teacher who handed back the like the corrected quiz or whatever.
Right.
Sure.
And I was like, obviously I didn't do well. Could you just explain this one to me? I just want to see it done. And he said no.
Bad teacher. That's a bad teacher.
That's like literally his job.
He said no, and then he turned to the rest of the class and said, "That was the easiest one."
Oh, are you kidding?
What a piece of fucking shit.
Yeah, but then he died of cancer.
He's sucking cocks in hell. There
Yes,
you go.
perhaps, and maybe one day I'll get down there myself and take my britches off.
Mr. Siska, that is the dividing symbol. That means you divide.
Yeah, I was like, could you explain this one? And it's the number 1. What is that? Is that a line? Is that an L?
Well, that's how we start the numbers, son.
So I divide the L and it's what, 2 lowercase i's?
Quick question. Now we're just on the sucking cocks in hell. Here's your question. Like,
I never had the pleasure.
Is it the
sucking cock
You
in
will.
hell.
You will.
One day.
Is it like demons then? Because like if it's other poor demented souls, it's a pretty good week for those guys.
Well, I think it's probably maybe a little like, oh boy, I can't believe it's happening again. I'm getting my cock sucked in hell.
Maybe it's a field trip from heaven. It's
Oh,
like
I
everyone get on the bus. We're gonna get our dicks sucked.
I mean, the suck bus.
Lucifer, the devil, is very good at what he does. You would think that he probably, if you enjoy sucking cock, he's probably doing something else at that time that you don't like.
Got it.
You're having like needles just stabbed into your back while it's happening.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
Yep. Hey,
So-
by the way, anything to not talk about Exorcist at the beginning.
I just said
Why would
thought
you?
they could be phantom cocks, or maybe the demons are given a
Yeah,
cock,
exactly.
for the day.
Yeah,
you know?
okay.
No, but you don't want a demon sucking your cock, though, dude.
No,
That's
no,
getting
the
teeth.
demon cock that she is sucking.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
So it's a little,
Got
it's
it.
probably bigger, maybe veinier,
Yeah.
maybe a little like
Some goat hair on there
Yes,
too. Yeah.
One of those
Horns.
big like monster dildos that Steve knows that company name.
Yeah.
Bad dragon, whatever.
Yeah, you got a couple bad dragons in your mouth.
No, all right. So here's something that's dumb. This
Okay.
movie starts with, I thought we were doing like a fucking Dracula Untold thing.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
because it kind of is, right? Like we're starting in the 16 whatevers or whatever this is supposed to be.
This is very confusing because the captions say medieval priest here, and I think Wikipedia said 500 something.
Yeah, it's
It's all over the
It
map.
seems like it should be the Crusades.
Some of the armor looks Roman-esque,
Yeah.
but maybe that was still hanging around.
But this
I
is
don't
all
know.
the shit that we're told like went down in this village in Africa way back when. So like it's Africa. It looks nothing like Africa. It looks like fucking Eastern Europe or something.
Yeah, we went out to Santa Fe for the weekend.
It looked
Shot the holy city.
It looked different back then.
and he's done, the one priest goes up to the other priest, and like the guy, he went to the gift store and got the Pazuzu. You know what I mean?
It's like the small one
yeah.
though, because
Yeah.
you don't want to take the big one on the plane.
No, exactly.
These are the mass-produced ones, not the handmade ones. Those are
Right.
an extra $5.
You know what? If it's the Exorcist beginning, and we do have the Pazuzu statue here, we have the Pazuzu statue a little later in flashes. Let's get some background on Pazuzu. What was he up to? What's his deal?
Sure, that I would appreciate. Just some sort of like, a reading from the book of Pazuzu, or whatever.
It's
you know?
all about cocks. Cock.
He looks like Birdo's boyfriend a little bit, like kind of a Denver the Last Dinosaur-esque with like wings on a little bit.
File not found on that one. I'm sorry.
Dino the Last Dinosaur, wasn't it?
Well,
No,
no,
Denver
it was
the last
Denver.
dinosaur.
He's
Oh,
right.
you're right. Dino was the Flintstones.
Dino was the Flintstones.
Dog
Folks-
dinosaur.
Folks
From
at
the
home,
AD.
we've actually done an Animation Damnation episode on Denver the Last
That's
Dinosaur.
right.
It just
Denver,
went rap.
the last dinosaur. He's your friend and a whole lot more. Bop, bop, bop. Anything to not talk about this movie?
I mean, so this thing opens it, and Like, to my knowledge, the only real weight it has on the thing is that we call back to it at the very end.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's essentially it.
It's this like, you know, cycle of evil. This will always happen again kind of a situation.
But again, just
stimulating.
Say Pazuzu at some point, like, oh, this scroll says Pazuzu and yada, yada, yada. And he cursed this town trillions of years ago.
Well, if you say too much Beetlejuice style,
That's true.
That could happen.
Hey, babe, it's me, Pazuzu. I'm horny. Look, I'm grabbing my Pazuzu dick.
Better movie, Stellan Skarsgård hanging out with Pazuzu, you know?
Absolutely.
They're trapped in a hotel together.
Hey, Stellan, want a Zagnut? Come on. Want it, boy? Come on. I don't want that. Get that away from me.
The dude should say, because like the guy is like dying, holding on to the little idol here.
Yeah.
When this other priest like tries to get it, the dude at least right there should be like, Pazuzu.
Yeah.
Or fuck all anything.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but look, they do something. They vaguely recite scenes that have made happen years ago, right?
Sure.
You kind of remember, like, this kind of looks like the beginning of the first one, maybe a little bit.
You know,
Maybe.
I'll pay it a compliment. There was a head in a helmet, little skeleton head, going like, wah. It just had its mouth open.
Yeah. I kind of like that. I kind of like the horrible CGI vista of all of these
As we pull back and you see the
upside down,
scores of
crucified dudes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that works to the negative effect, I imagine.
Yeah.
Right? That's a bad thing.
Well,
That's a bad crucifixion.
And the idea is that Pazuzu or whatever made everyone fight each other and crucify each other upside down.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it made them do the
He
crucifying
suggested-
upside down.
suggested
guys are fighting each other. It'd be pretty cool if somebody crucified somebody upside down. Just saying. Shit! Did you know what that guy said about you? He said he's gonna crucify you upside down and fuck your mother. Oh, now you're crucifying him upside down. Oh wow.
Oh, I'm going to get him for that crucifying upside down line, especially that purple monkey dishwasher remark.
Guys, that one is the right side up. That's all wrong. Oh, wait, now you're doing it sideways.
Through both feet. I cannot tell you this. We're gonna waste all our nails if we're doing each of them by themselves.
Fellas, quit fucking around. We got 20 more people to crucify upside down before sunset.
Yeah, let me get 30 bacon, egg, and chicken. I got the crew with me here. We're going to be crucifying people all fucking day. We're so backed up over there. It's
Ooh,
nuts.
Honey, the crucifiers are here buying breakfast from us. Yeah, we like to support local businesses when we come through towns, crucifying people upside
And
down.
they're actually catcalling cats because they're familiars with the dark underworld.
No. They don't got a breakfast burrito. No, it's just sandwiches. They don't got no burrito.
Yeah, Mexican food not invented yet.
Just order something. We got 20 people to crucify upside down.
Let me get 35 coffees, light and sweet. Oh, you don't do that yet? Oh, shit.
Well, what if they don't got the burrito? What makes you think they're gonna have chilaquiles, huh? What makes you think?
My favorite of the Mexican desayunos.
The most cursed thing, and this belongs in Pazuzu's realm, is when you see those people, the crews getting coffees and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're just putting them in paper bags, like these bodegas and stuff. It's like, what are you doing?
You're playing fast and loose with a bunch of hot coffee.
It's
That's what you're
building
doing.
a bomb.
Yeah, it's basically a water balloon at that point. It's a coffee balloon.
I think if you see more than like 2 cups of coffee go into a paper bag, it qualifies as a see something, say something.
We took down Saddam Hussein for less.
That could actually hurt somebody.
Exactly. That at least exists.
But so we cut to a Indiana Jones and the fucking who gives a shit.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Cairo, 1949.
I've been calling it Indiana Jesuit.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like
This is you go from one bad CGI thing to this like CGI Cairo. I don't know,
Awful.
man. Like, why don't you start with like some actual B-roll of like Egypt in some way, digitally remove some stuff and see how it looks, not just create everything digitally from scratch. This looks so bad.
Drunk priest is ornery to children.
Yeah.
I think a better thing, probably.
Oh my God.
With, what's his name from Chariots of Fire, who I think
Ben
just
Cross.
passed.
Yeah, he just died.
Oh my God! But this
3 years ago, but yeah.
this kid walks in there, and then Stellan Skarsgård's like, Your puppets are terrible. You're a terrible puppet peddler.
Your sister's not sick. I know what your sister's doing. She's doing the same thing you're doing in the bar next door.
Welcome here, young Master Dunham. What do you have there? An old puppet, is it?
Wow, that looks like shit.
And I like getting
and that joke is racist. And that joke is racist as well.
I like getting a sense of the land and acclimating to the setting. But this is not the oh, your puppets are terrible. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Well, I guess he's a peddler kid.
I just saw 1,000 people crucified upside down, mind you. And then it's suddenly like, oh, these puppets are shoddy. I bet they fall apart when I would leave here.
Oh, your puppets are so bad. You should be crucified upside down for it.
The little scammer across the way in the bar on the other side of the street, he gives me a punch and a Judy. I don't got to buy him separate.
Genuine Pazuzu puppets, right? Kind of right here.
That's offensive. You don't know the dark magic you're playing with.
It's and it's like, and the kid's like, oh, my sister's sick, and he's like, you don't have. I met your sister. She's very nice. He's like, my mother's sick. Comedy in this movie.
Ooh.
You know what? I don't need to be laughing.
No.
You watch all of that first Exorcist movie. There's not really a laugh to be found there.
No,
There's
I would
no
like
lighthearted shit.
So I would like some eeriness. How about that?
Yeah.
And like the mass death that I just saw didn't do it. It was kind of stupid looking.
It looked like a fucking dumb cartoon.
Yeah.
But that is the biggest problem with like the philosophy of this movie, right? Because like you think about Exorcist 1, shit, even in ways I don't think it's a good movie, but Exorcist 2, Exorcist 3 also does this, even though it is just more of like a serial killer movie, but like there is atmosphere built.
Yes.
The Exorcist itself is a terrifying movie. It's more terrifying for Catholics than non-Catholics. My wife and I have had this discussion before, but like it builds atmosphere and it's obsessed almost.
Yeah.
Like Friedkin was obsessed with making sure like the atmosphere was there the whole time.
We should mention that is our Patreon offering this month of We Love Movies. Full episode on that original Exorcist on Patreon.
And it's going to be a blast. But yeah, and that's the thing is you don't get the atmosphere of Cairo because again, like also they're not there. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Friedkin knew what Georgetown looked like. You know what I mean? You're filming there. You're figuring it out. This and the African village we go to later, like they're just, they might as well be the same fucking thing. It's the same goddamn set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're all in, I think they filmed this in Morocco or something like that. It's just one big Morocco fucking tent. You know, there's no actual like, oh, in this village we do X, in this village we do Y.
There's so few like establishing shots. Like, so you're going from like a tent to a church to a dig site. I mean, there's no sense of like any kind of spatial relations. You don't know what this village looks like, really.
No, I don't think you're supposed to. I think it's just like, here's a scene, here's a scene, here's a scene, here's a scene. Right. Isn't it nice?
We're already ripping off Indiana Jones. Just give me that map then.
Yeah.
Show me the map.
Sure. That at least like, gives you an idea of where space is. Oh, we're going this much.
Or maybe he's got like an old one from Bible days and he's like, oh, look at this.
But if
and then we use that.
If you think about like in Raiders when they're doing the whole dig scene and all that stuff, you have a way better sense of like the layout of like the dig site and like, you know, fucking the tent is over here and that's where like Belloc is or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, have we not learned like Renny Harlin?
Thank you. That was the next point.
Renny Harlin, like, didn't you saw what happened with Cutthroat Island, right? The man in period do not do well.
Yes.
Like, it's not a good idea, I would say.
Right.
He's good at 80s and 90s action shit.
Yes. I still think it's my favorite movie of his is
Die Hard 2?
Nightmare 5, I think.
Oh,
sure. Long Kiss Goodnight, baby. Woo.
Oh, I need to rewatch that.
Oh, that's a solid movie that I have not seen. That's like a fucking pre 9/11 rewatch. I haven't seen that movie in a real long time. I don't know why I use that as the fucking benchmark.
Well, that's, you know, it's defining history, sort of like
before times, absolutely.
Yeah, sort of like when they hung all those guys upside down on the crosses. That was a defining point as well.
We're getting back there, Eric. Don't you worry. Eventually.
We will get back there once the, you know.
Nail Productions just going to go back up. Pittsburgh steel. You're going to make big, nice steel fucking spears.
That's how. Thank you, Chris. This is how we bring manufacturing back to these United States.
Yes.
We bring the Dark Lord on Earth.
You hear that, Joe? Do that, Joe.
He did Cliffhanger, so that's going to do it.
Okay,
that's a good
Cliffhanger.
movie.
Yeah.
That might be my favorite movie.
And it's Nightmare 4, by the way, was his. Not 5.
Ford Farrell. Nobody's going to stick up for Ford Farrell.
I will not.
Did he do? Wait, am I thinking? Did Renny Harlin do Deep Blue Sea?
Yes,
he did.
Yes, that is.
Yeah,
that's better than this movie.
Honestly,
much better than this.
The thing about I can't get
he
mad.
can do fun.
I can't get mad at him at all because it's like at least we put money behind like random weird shit. You know, it's like Deep Blue Sea. This now it's not to harp on it, but like it's just the comic book properties, and you wouldn't. And I guess
or Exorcist Believer.
Thank you. That's a good point. Yes. I miss these mid-tier movies that had budgets.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the thing about Renny Harlin with this is like, what did somebody lose a bet? Like, what exactly? Looking at his filmography, what made you think that's what was it? Nightmare? Like, it that doesn't make sense because that's also a suburban place, which he's better at.
Available, I think was the thing.
Is that really? Because like, man,
well, because I mean, they chose Schrader, which is a pretty good choice. You know what I mean? He's got all that shit.
But it was supposed to be John Frankenheimer, though, and he quit like 6 months before he died, so that wasn't gonna happen. I guess he knew something was up.
The curse.
I don't want to die in Morocco filming a shitty Exorcist.
I'm about to go meet Pazuzu, okay?
I had coffee with Pazuzu half an hour ago. But so like Ben Cross shows up to him, and it's so Indiana Jones. It's like, you're something of an explorer, and it's like, yes, and I also was a priest, and now I'm on hard times. Drink. I do love Stellan Skarsgård. I think he's fantastic. I think he's got nothing to do here. I feel like he might have a little more to do in Schrader's version, but I feel like that's not even worth it either.
Well, I mean, it's not, but I mean, Schrader's version at least was more of like a psychological thriller. Like that's why they hated it, because it was like Morgan Creek wanted this fucking like gore fest movie, which also is like so the antithesis of Exorcist movies anyway.
Can I tell you something? Morgan Creek. Every time I see a Morgan Creek movie, I expect Ace Ventura to show up. Like every time I see that Morgan Creek logo, I just kind of like,
it's the power of suggestion. Power.
He would have really perked this movie up.
Exactly. Him delivered a package to Stellan Skarsgård in a silly way.
Oh, this is the Bible map from old times. Thank you, Ace.
He sees like he sees a dead baby come out of the lady all maggot filled and whatnot, and he just goes, "All righty then," and just shushes out of there. So Ben Cross like sends him on this, exhibition, and the kicker is this artifact was discovered in a part of Africa where, like, looking at what the age of the artifact or whatever, this was here 1,000 years before Christianity itself got to that part of Africa.
It's like the Vatican in league with the what do you call it there with the British
reverse vampires.
You might as well be the British government.
Yes,
epic collaboration.
They're just sort of like both
all-timer.
Sending Father Merrin and fucking James Darcy doing jackass shit in this movie. I remember one time I was at home with my mom had cable. And on two different stations, they were playing. It was like HBO 2 and Cinemax 1 or something like that. One was playing Exorcist at the beginning, and one was playing Dominion.
Oh,
and
no
they were
way.
Like minutes apart from each other.
That's
and, like,
weird.
There was like almost the exact same scene with Skarsgård talking to James Darcy, and then he's talking to Gabriel Mann, and it's just kind of going back and forth.
Supremely
super
weird.
Yeah.
But so yeah, the whole thing is go down there, find this thing, and bring it back to us because we need to put it in like a Vatican vault or some shit and lock that down or whatever. So, and I can see like the Schrader attraction to this, especially because not only is it like religious tinged or whatever, but it is indeed a man who has lost his faith. Like, crises of faith is what Paul Schrader has built his career on.
Right. Dude, I guarantee you there's some shots of Stellan Skarsgård behind a desk with a little glass of whiskey, writing it out.
It would be better for it. Take a breath movie.
I mean, it was first draft or first reformed. There's a fucking drunk priest.
Yeah, sure.
In the beginning of this thing.
That's right. So we head off to Nairobi, Kenya. That's where the dig site is happening, and we learn
they've discovered a church. What's a church doing being buried in the sand way before Christianity got here?
Spooky.
Spooky
Well,
shit.
we start at Nosferatu's lair, the British embassy in Kenya.
Yeah, would they even help the Catholics? You know, like because it's like
Church of England, baby.
right. It's
Yeah.
like fuck you, priest, get out of here. We got our own guys that do I don't know divorce, whatever else they do.
Do divorce.
I think that was the main sticking
Well, yeah,
point,
it's the Henry
right?
VIII deal. Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
like Martin Luther had a bunch of a whole list of shit.
Yeah.
And then
95, I think, the
and
number
then
was.
the Church of England.
1995.
Yep.
The Church of England was just like we wanna, I guess, divorce. Was it divorce or killing ladies? Which one was
I
it?
think it was a
We
little
want
bit
to
of both.
marry our cousins.
It's Jack the Ripper, I think, was the Pope. for
Yes, he
them, or
was.
the bishop, or-
Sounds right.
Wasn't that what that From Hell movie was telling you?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I believe that the Church of England is like is to the Catholic Church what Low Fidelity All Stars is, or the Long Beach All Stars are
Long
to
Beach
Sublime.
Dub All Stars is too sublime.
Sublime.
There
That's
you
I
go.
think that's how that works.
Yes, a lesser product.
Yes.
It was a
And
bucolic
someone-
walk we just went on.
A
there.
lesser product because someone died. But yeah, so yeah, we're outside the British embassy here, and he sees some soldiers goose stepping down the lane, and this is our first of about. I kind of lost track. What do you think? 27 flashbacks to Nazi Germany.
Sounds about
And
right.
just
I was doing a little priest work on the side for the nuts. But then I went down there, they just made fun of me.
I got to pick who got killed. Ooh, special privileges.
You know, they should have mapped this out a little bit better because I was like, what is going on? I read on Wikipedia this is supposed to be an occupied Norway or whatever.
Oh, sure. I guess
And
that makes more sense.
Could you tell me?
no,
No.
And, yeah, even on Wikipedia, they're like, oh, in retaliation for a Nazi soldier being killed, the Nazi officer
Yes.
takes the town and
Yes.
says, makes the priest choose. Or
And
else
you
he's gonna
know
kill
none
everybody.
of that.
You know none of that.
You know none of that. You just see Stellan Skarsgård at one point being like, yeah, kill him, kill that guy, because he's like saving the women and
Fuck him,
children.
fuck him. You're cool.
The best part about it, though, is like the first two dudes, and it does not matter that this happens way later in the movie at all. We can bounce around as much as we want, but when that happens, like the first two dudes that he's picking are like old timers.
Yeah, of course.
And, like you're seeing these dudes get shot right in the fucking head. I mean,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah, yeah.
ridiculous. It is not for an Exorcist movie, whatever. But so I was like, okay, I guess it sort of makes sense. He's picking all the old
Yeah, sure,
people,
sure.
But then,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the third guy is this really young dude, and I was like, what did he fuck your cousin or something? Like,
Yeah.
You got fucking beef with that guy? Like,
Because that's
Oh, father, another cookie today. You're parking on the pounds. Well, I'll see you later. You'll fucking be dead later, you son of a bitch.
You're number 7.
next time a Nazi asks me to pick who dies, you're going down, smart ass.
When you bought that shirt I was going to buy the other day, I mean, you're number 8. That just screams number 8.
It's because like to Eric's point, like if there was like a scene where it's
yes.
like we open
Yes.
up, maybe this is how we open, or maybe it's a dream. It could be a dream, but like do the whole thing, not the
Yes.
flash. Because or even if you want to do the thing where it's like it's flashes here and there, but eventually I need the whole scene.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
There has to be like the large chunk of the source material.
Yes.
I would argue before you're seeing the clips of it.
Sure, yeah,
You know what
I
I mean?
agree.
Because if it's later and you get this big
I don't
honking
care.
scene, the movie's
Show
like
the
over.
soldier dead, and then it's like, who did this? And he's got this conflict. He's like debating, can I even tell them to kill all these people or whatever? Give me a moment in this scene here.
How about you show me some devil shit? Why
Yeah.
am I watching the fucking Holocaust and fucking the colonialization in East Africa, the fall of fucking Lucifer? Just show me the devil shit.
And also objection, mid-aughts, like big budget Holocaust stuff. I'm just thinking I'm watching an X-Men movie. I'm waiting
Yeah.
for Magneto to show up, man.
Sure, that's true. I mean, we were only what's the one where you see the beginning of the first one?
Yes.
Is where he
Yeah,
pulls the gate
yeah.
down.
Yeah, so it's 4 years later. It's almost, and it looks the same. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
There's no devil shit here today, priest. But we do have a kid that can move spoons.
No. Yes, you see, Mr. Morgan Creek. It starts X-Men. We can do it too. We can do it too. It'll work for us too.
And it's definitely the same like blue tint
Exactly,
over
yes,
everything.
yes.
And you do a shot of the cross, it falls over to the side. Boom, X-Men. Bring them out.
The power of Christ compels you, Magneto.
Oh, I don't believe in any of that, Charles.
So then Father Merrin falls to his knees, and then boom, who's in the corner? Nightcrawler.
Dude,
He
that's
comes and saves.
There's no God here today. Mein friend.
is Alan coming.
And now I go away.
The fuck?
I mean, like, yeah, because it's like so much of his character, quote unquote, is like this is when he lost his faith, etc. Have this apparently the Schrader version. It's like a 20-minute. I think it is a 20-minute sequence,
It's
which
longer, yeah.
which makes sense because you do. If it's that important, do it. But to Chris's point, I totally agree. Give me the devil shit because I mean that's what this is all about. That's what the Exorcist is all about. It's about the girl. Like the original Exorcist, it's all about Reagan and like the priests are there. Obviously, it's a lot more Father Karras. You do see him do stuff, but that's also tactile. It's real.
Yes.
It's happening now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
Also, I mean, I will say that first movie is put together by people who knew up and down the fucking ins and outs of our weird Catholicism
Yes.
upbringing. You know what I mean? And like this movie is so fucking absent of any of that, which again, like if they had just gave Schrader the money to finish the fucking movie and accepted it as like this religious psychological thriller, which is what any Exorcist related shit should be, and not like a horror gore fest thing. Like some of the effects in this movie, some of these shots, some of the like the gross out things, it is like pathetic edgelord garbage. You know what I mean?
It's 2004.
Yep.
You know, we Saw is poisoning the water as we speak, and
because it's the same year, right?
I think so. Maybe a year
2004?
before or something. But someone could fact check that. But yeah, I mean, in the 2000s, we just got really gore heavy with
CGI gore.
CGI heavy. Yes.
I mean,
Saw also 04.
that's, I mean, the thing with this is like, I kind of give it to Renny Harlin in that like, he's like, not just one gruesome child death.
Yeah.
We're going to go for the 3. We're going to go for, hat trick here.
And you are going to see this little girl shot in the fucking head by that Nazi twice.
It's this Nazi's got to watch his hands because the way he's doing it,
You're right.
he's doing like the gun is to her head and he's holding her other ear with his hand.
It's
and
like
I'm-
temple to temple.
It's like, dude, if you're going to say, my God, I shot myself in the head. I mean, that girl is dead. Ow, my head.
that would have added a much needed levity to the scene.
Dude, and then like they all like the circle of villagers like laugh at him and he's like, all right, now you're all dying.
And it's just, that's a heavy spice. And if you treat it
Sure,
well,
yep.
it could pay off. But here it does. It feels so.
This is when he lost his faith.
Yeah, okay.
He
But
lost his faith.
maybe I need that 20-minute scene, or maybe I just need this to be composed better as a film when he gets when the girl gets shot and him losing his faith.
I mean, that's all great. Like, I just don't understand what the thought process of making this your fucking Exorcist prequel at all. Like,
no.
Why isn't it a girl, like, not even a prequel, like a girl gets possessed and like kills party goers at the fucking place next door to her.
Sure.
Like, if you're really looking for murders, which is what seems to be the thing, since like Exorcist isn't about murders, Exorcist is kind of about self-mutilation and being possessed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you are trying to push this into the like, we need a body count here, people,
Right.
like, why not just go for the easy? Why fucking have
I
to deal with
agree.
East Africa and the fucking war?
That's the
like,
thing. You're right. Just, you could set it in the past and do something like that. You don't have to constantly knock on my door and be like, do you remember the Holocaust?
Yeah.
Well,
do you
I
remember
feel-
colonization by the British Empire? Just pick one, set it during it, and shut the fuck up.
There you go.
I feel like we keep getting flashbacks because they have no confidence in who they think is going to see this movie as far as like intelligence levels goes. So it's like, oh fuck, like Paul had one sort of long scene about that. No. You better break that up. We got to keep reminding these people about the Holocaust and what happened and why he lost his faith. We got to keep reminding him why his faith
But
was lost.
we repeat that scene multiple times.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, wait, what happened? Show me Stellan Skarsgård face. Do a close up. Spend a moment with him in that moment.
Well, yeah, if you're going to do stuff like this, show the full, as we've been saying, show the full scene And then rather than going back to Alsan, have it be echoed in things that happen in the real world, like a roundup or a little girl being shot or being taken away. You don't even have to show her getting shot.
What? Even give
stuff like that will just trigger it, and that's all you need.
Just give me a voiceover. Then it's like, oh my god, I can't believe he did it. He actually fucking did it. Wow. Oh, I guess this God thing isn't cracked up to it. Oh my lord.
That would be the part where like he's sitting at a desk in a Schrader movie, like, oh. Dear diary, today the Lord left me, and here's fucking why, and whatever.
But he goes to the camp. He's got his interpreter guy named Chuma, who's like his number one dude,
who walks into this area with all of his kids. It's just Sala from Indiana Jones. Here we go again.
You got the great Alan Ford Bricktop is like this disgusting goblin man who I kind of love. I love Alan Ford and stuff. And B, it's like I think he's actually antagonistic and kind of fun.
Yes.
And why we don't see his death is insane. Like why that happens off screen. I want him to go now, please.
They should at least show like an angel saving him then if they're not going to go all the way with it.
Chuma's a different dude than you're thinking of. Chuma's the guy who gets like murdered with a spear at the end of this movie. The guy with the kids is Amekwi.
Right. Amekwi,
the father of
Amekwi gave me big Sala vibes.
Yes, he does. And he's like he's very friendly, and he's got two sons. One's a tall, and the other one's a really adorable little kid who really put through the ringer.
Oh boy, if you're one of these two boys, it's a tough selection, man. Either you're Joseph, like the littler kid, who's like he survives the movie and does get put through the ringer, but also then you could be James, the older kid, who is torn to shreds by CGI hyenas.
That's a terrible way to go.
We're gonna love that. But and there's also Izabella Scarpuccio. What's her name?
Scarpucci, I think.
Yeah, of GoldenEye fame is
Natalia from GoldenEye.
Is this the only other movie she's been in?
I think so.
No, because she's in. Oh fuck! She's in another previous episode. Let me see if I can look it up.
She's this doctor, and like you don't know what her deal is. Like she's also like kind of. We find out stuff about her. She's got a Nazi past. The funniest
Scorpio and multiple previous episodes.
Oh wow! Oh
really?
Boy.
GoldenEye WLM,
Sure.
and then WHM, this Reign of Fire and Vertical Limit. Her entire top 4 on IMDb is movies we've done.
And by the way, her Nazi past, she was in the camp or whatever.
Yes, yeah.
So she wasn't like.
Oh no, she wasn't. No, she wasn't helping.
To the point of which, oh my god, later on when she gets blood,
and
really she's just like. Well, they that day at camp they took all that. It's like what?
Yeah, like nothing should be left there that can bleed. It's like,
this is definitely shit I want to be thinking about in the Exorcist movie.
Yes, this is the part where you're in the theater like I thought I was a fucking Exorcist movie.
And if you're gonna mention that, just do it. Go ahead, make Mangala. He's got possessed by. What was his name? Poochie?
Pazuzu. I have to go now. The devil needs me.
Poochie died on his way back to hell, where he was reborn in because he's in hell.
Can I tell you that in the novelization of Exorcist: The Beginning, did you read this?
Fuck no.
There's a great bit of trivia on IMDb. In the novelization of Exorcist: The Beginning, Father Merrin's character is always fighting an erection when he talks to Sarah.
Hell yeah.
Which I want to read it, just be like, Sarah came in, and of course Merrin was hard. Merrin crossed his legs.
That's how he could lose his faith, right?
Yeah.
It's just like all these stinking boners.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
dude.
I can't have tight pants, but I can't really have loose pants either. It's gonna either way.
Merrin immediately regretted the decision wearing the tight pleated khakis to the dig site that day.
I went with loose linen pants, and it looks like I have a big top circus down there.
Another cup of coffee, Mr. Merrin? Sarah asked. Merrin stiffened. No, thank you. I'm fine.
He went back to his tent to relieve himself immediately.
Engorged. He went away.
With the blood rushing to his loins, he opened the exorcism book.
If the dick is that hard at the start, it's got to go off by the end of the movie.
That's true.
He remembered the doorstops of a childhood as he stood a mass.
Oh yeah, to get it to go down, he just stands behind the door, and Amikwe throws it open.
Well, that'll fix that.
Yeah.
That's that. Don't gotta worry about that no
All
more.
right, yes, the first part of this exorcism ceremony. Someone must slam a door into my erect penis. So yeah, we check out the dig site. They are unearthing a church that has been buried beneath the sand and everything. There's like a dude that immediately starts having a seizure due to evil, and like this is the only time that happens in the movie.
And Exorcist in Africa, just don't bother. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know what Africa is. I don't like it. You know, there's just some stuff like later on when the tribe starts getting into it, and I'm
It's
like,
a little much.
I just am not crazy about what I'm watching.
We've got this these Tarkana people that are doing like some sort of like their own sort of sacrificial pseudo exorcist thing with like leeches at one point. And I was like, I don't know if any of this is right.
Exactly. No. It's just, and I don't trust Renny Harlin or this Morgan Creek production to put this together.
No, set it in fucking foggy old Georgetown, and the craziest thing is a priest is playing basketball at one point.
Exactly. We also get some. It's amazing. Like the dig is like the church is like kind of protruding from the ground. Marin does like that like, oh, let me do some.
You got to dust it.
You got to do some classic archaeology dusting. Is like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, it's like new under here. Wow, it's like you can live. This is amazing.
It's like it was buried right when it was built.
Yes, it's not like weathered in any ways. Like it's 1,500 years old. Why is there no weathering?
Was this shrink wrapped before I got here? Did you take something off? Was it a film? This shouldn't happen.
And I mean, like, honestly, all of this stuff about like this like Vatican mystery, like, yeah. Give it to me.
Yeah, sure.
Why don't we take out the Holocaust and have more of this fucking mystery?
When James Darcy reveals it, it's so muddled. I'm like, and so late in the day, I'm like, what?
No.
And it's a weird, like, you expect him to all of a sudden be like incredibly villainous.
Yes.
And maybe he's supposed to be, but the black hole of charisma that is James Darcy in this movie. And I don't know if I've seen this guy in anything else, but like, it might not be his fault. It's a bad script.
Is he in those MCU? What's the show that people like? Agent Carter, isn't he on that?
Maybe, yeah.
The butler character.
I think he might be the butler.
I think you're right.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I would think
Peggy
so.
Carter's got a butler on that show?
Yeah, she
Jarvis.
has.
She has Jarvis. Before Jarvis.
Oh, that's
Jarvis.
cute.
Yeah. Not really. But yes. I mean, just for the thought.
But yeah, so the Alan Ford as this Jeffries character is hitting on Sarah, the doctor. And
Which, like, I don't know, man. Why don't you fucking take a look at the mirror, dude?
Because he's also he's Alan Ford, who's disgusting. I love the guy.
And the hitting on, though, that's a little.
Well,
is it hitting on?
No, yeah,
it's pretty aggressive.
He's harassing her.
It's a harassment thing, but also he is banking on the idea that, and it happens. You are the ugly man that like can push through it. Like if you go up and like you're the story they have.
Sure.
Of the one time they picked him up at the bar. The guy was disgusting, but you had to do it.
Oh
this
yeah,
one
you gotta
time.
do it, dude. Fucking leaky pustules.
Well,
and
that's the
all.
problem is the leaky pustules.
Because what he says, like, "Oh, my penis hurts at night" or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Was like, oh, doctor, I've been getting this swelling in me bed every night.
There's an amber fluid that drains from it.
That's it. His dick is swelling at night, and he wants her to drain it. And Father Marin's like, "That was my idea. That was my idea,
dude." But then this guy's yelling about like all the African people are savages and shit.
Yes.
And I'm like, once again, Morgan Creek, not for my Exorcist prequel.
He's a British character.
Yeah, he's letting you know that.
No, but it's just like that's not the movie watching mode that I'm in when I'm going to the theater, which I did to see.
Wow, that's a twist ending here.
I will say, well, because what happened was, dude,
we saw it together.
Let's
right?
do flashback 20 years earlier, and then the Nazis force you to see.
Well, what
this.
happened? We're in the parking lot of the multiplex, right? Yeah. And this Nazi got hit by a car.
There's no tickets for anything else today besides The Exorcist's beginning.
Nothing else is playing for your movie-going adventure today, I'm afraid.
Sorry, there's no God here, Mr. Jupin.
And there wasn't, but I will say it was during the multiplex days. Chris and I saw it for free.
Sure.
I was a fucking dumb college student that kind of liked this movie at the littlest bit. I think part of that was just like the idea that I could see an Exorcist movie in theaters.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Although that director's cut had already come out, and I had seen that in theaters, so I guess it really didn't matter.
Oh, Mr. Jupin, why don't you pick some of your fellow moviegoers to watch the film? This very good film that we're about to watch.
Old man.
Chris Cabin.
Lady clearly with a heart problem. You come in. Sure.
Couple children, why not?
And something. The guys on the dig crew will not enter the church because it's cursed.
Yes.
And Father Marin, or Mr. Marin at this point.
Mr. Marin.
I also love there's this part when he meets Sarah.
Mr.
He's like, "Oh, hello, Sarah. I'm so fucking hard right now." And she's like, "Oh, Father Marin's like, no, I'm not a priest." And she's like, "Oh, that Father Darcy or whatever, Father whatever,
Francis.
Father Francis said you're a priest." Like, that son of a bitch.
Oh, that guy? He's a fucking liar.
You know what? You could just call me a dirty, filthy boy. I mean, Mr. Marin. Mr. Marin.
Would a priest call someone a fucking liar? They would not. Yeah, he is kind of hammering that home, which I guess is the
He gets
characterization.
C-blocked by a priest. He's like, "Hey, look, you took those vows, dude. I don't want you.
Yeah,
I don't want you getting laid."
Hey, Francis, that's your fucking problem, all right? I got out of that racket.
I can't get this out of my mind since you said a priest wouldn't say you're a liar. I was picturing like in a confession booth, the priest being like, "You're making that one up. Well, that's way too cool for you.
You didn't do that.
You didn't finger bang Shelley Costigan. Bullshit.
I'm calling bullshit on it, and so is the Lord."
It's just your usual racket. You cheated on a test. You disrespected your parents, and you used the Lord's name in vain. You didn't finger bang squat.
You're a liar.
So they go
He
down.
goes in the fucking church.
Yeah, they go down, and now there's a bunch of birds, which is sort of something.
Sure.
Yeah, a lot of these like ravens or whatever, the crows or
We don't really get.
whatever.
I mean, that's what this movie's doing. Is like there's a lot of ravens, and earlier on, do you see these? They set them up. Chekhov's hyenas. These horrific looking hyenas.
It's bad.
Awful. I mean, I could only tell they were hyenas from the subtitles.
Yeah.
You know, the captioning I put on.
Creatures, really.
They looked like shit.
They look so bad. The fucking animated 1990s Lion King voiced by Whoopi Goldberg hyenas look more realistic than these things. I'm sorry.
And they're not as charming as Cheech Marin either.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Cheech was another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was Chong the third one?
No, just some Disney voice actor.
See, so it's like two celebs and then some guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like
just
it's a
some guy.
team.
You should get the third guy.
But
But
Tommy Chong's right there. Whatever.
But I mean, they look so fucking bad. But they also set up like all these creepy animals that don't. I mean, like they do some stuff, but at the end, you'd think that that's sort of what
you'd think that they would come back into the fold in the final whatever you want to call it. But no, they tear that kid up, and that's kind of the last you really see of him.
Is that Pazuzu? Like what why?
Yes.
Okay.
Because here's
Yeah.
the thing. Here's the thing. What this movie sets up, right,
Sure.
is that when Pazuzu is like let out into the open or whatever, right, like the vibes just get bad.
Oh.
And so everybody's like fucking at each other's throats, animals included, right? Because all the ravens and shit are like eating each other and that kind of stuff. And people are going crazy in the village. And the hyenas also are just going crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric, as you know, ravens and animals in general are much more sensitive to vibes.
Right.
Vibes
they
are very important to the animal kingdom.
They sense the vibe shift before anyone. So
Oh, here's your problem right here in the village. The vibes are fucked. Solved your problem. Good day.
Oh, that's why the ravens are eating each other. That's absolutely the reason.
you're gonna have to put up some Christmas lights early and start drinking at noon. Get these vibes settled.
Can you start growing marijuana out here?
Yes, of
Is it possible? Can you find some fertile ground?
You're gonna need to wake and bake every morning.
yacht rock is what you're gonna want. Pump it in.
It's the soft rock of the 70s and 80s.
3 words. Hall and Oates.
I'm going to give you, this is an LP of Steely Dan's Gaucho.
Hell yeah. So yeah, this actually, I think like the set design here in this underground church is pretty cool. It's kind of the like most interesting part of the movie. This is where we get another upside down crucifix.
Sure.
This one has like the
Creepy.
Jesus statue on it turned upside down.
No. not Jesus.
Father Francis is disgusted.
Oh,
with this
he's
whole
pissed
thing.
off about it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
also all of the angels have all of their swords pointing downwards. We're like, but shouldn't they be going up to exalt to heaven? It's like, oh, not here, my priest.
Yes, this is
Oh.
the desecration of Christ.
Right. Yeah. So I guess the thing is they set up this church to plug up this fucking hellhole.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Actual hole to hell.
Yeah.
But then they forgot to like go there and make it a church still, right? Like
Yeah.
it just goes to shit. Now it's like hell church.
It is. It just turns into Hell Church eventually.
Yeah.
A better name for the movie, honestly.
dude.
Hell church. Yeah.
Get rid of the Exorcist. I know, brand recognition and everything, but
Well,
come on.
Exorcist : Hell Church.
Yeah.
That's kind of something.
Or Hell Church : a prequel to The Exorcist.
There
Sure.
you go.
Yep. I like that. I
Uh-huh.
like that too. I could see that. Anything would be better than the title.
Just a character.
We're aware the vibes are bad, and we're like, okay, this is what he talks to Sarah, and he finds out that she's like, by the way, he gets this cut on his hand. He's like, ouch. And it's like a big shard of glass.
It's a bad one.
That
Yeah.
opens his hand, and he's just walking around the desert.
Sure.
Well, you know what, man? It's 1949. This dude survived the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Like, he's a tough son of a bitch.
the greatest
What can I tell you?
generation.
That's true.
That's right.
Well, yeah, that's unlike Indiana Jones. He kind of openly wants to die, it seems like.
Yeah.
He's just doing these
Right.
things.
Whatever you got to do.
I mean, like, he doesn't want to do the thing. He's a coward, of course,
Yeah.
so he doesn't want to do the thing. So he just puts himself in the situation.
But she's cleaning him up, and this is when he sees the numbers on her arm.
Sure.
And, that's
He's like, that is a major turn off.
Oh my God.
And her story is like her family helped hide people. So then when they were discovered or turned in by
Yeah.
the neighbors, they were all taken
Everybody
to the
got
cap.
thrown
Right.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. We learn about the lead archaeologist on the dig, this Monsieur Bessian, and he has gone crazy, and he's been sent somewhere to
Up
like
the road, yeah.
up the road to an insane asylum.
Get this man out of the movie. That might be too interesting. Get him out of here.
He is the most, when you meet him, he is kind of the most interesting part of the movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, so she's like doing tarot.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh,
like
that's
her kind of like,
Where'd you get that
ooh.
devil shit?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, it's a weird, she's like, oh, it was left here. I just found it. I just started playing with it.
Good thing that's a major turn on.
Ooh, fucking around with tarot. Excellent turn on.
Please stop talking about that. Please talk about the Nazis. I don't want any of this devil shit in my ears at all.
The moment had passed already for Marin to get up and go back to bed, but he couldn't stand up because his cock was rock hard, and she would see it.
It would be truly embarrassing should he stand at this moment.
Hey, Hank, you don't put too many erections in this novelization to the Exorcist prequel?
Nah, babe, it's perfect because it is exactly what the movie was missing. I said it right when we came out of the theater.
I mean,
No hard dick.
don't you remember when we saw the Borman movie and I was just chanting in the theater, erections, 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 and everybody was staring.
I mean, the other Borman movie had no problem with that. Zardoz.
That's plenty.
Yeah.
He probably pitched it originally as more
A
hard
lot of
ons.
erect dicks in that movie.
Can I ask a question about the movie The Exorcist at the beginning?
No.
Is sort of at the end of the movie,
No, thank
spoiler
you.
alert, there's like a twist because we're going to get into the two kids and one of them seems to be possessed.
What if both of those boys were possessed?
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
2 kids possessed at the same time.
I don't know where I'd come up with this stuff.
Dude, I got $10. You're going to give it to you just to hear that story.
Where could we put him? You think like a hospital or something like
Oh,
that?
wow. That's
something wild.
that's-
Something
that
really
is-
wild.
That is really wild.
yeah. That's a
don't
good
think
one,
I've
I think.
Heard of that
What
before.
if Ellen Burstyn showed up?
Holy
Whoa.
fuck, you're blowing my fucking mind.
Yeah, I'm bursting here.
Well, I'm gonna check if she's still alive, but if she is, I am absolutely going to call her.
Does this sequel go to Madison Avenue?
But the twist is at the end, you think it's the kid the whole time. And no, it was Sarah that's possessed.
Yes.
And she's always been possessed. is my
Always.
question.
Yeah,
So
of
she's
course.
possessed before the movie starts.
Got it.
Yeah.
So that's why she's doing tarot at this point. But then never ever are there any
You know
other
what?
clues that she's possessed?
Just do another flashback. Show me Heinrich Himmler fucking putting ghosts inside
A
of
black
her.
magic mask. He's just-
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if I'm remembering earlier this afternoon correctly, what they say is because spoiler alert, Monsieur, whatever the fuck Bession and her were married, and they were the first people to go into the church together at the same time, and both got possessed at the same time.
I like the idea. It's like, no, they took out her womb and put a bunch of ghosts inside. Now that is something.
I mean, it's sweet getting a couple's possession like that.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's a nice thing to do. Just to
Isn't
prove
her
yourself.
hauntings. But so he goes to bed that night, and this is the first of many fucking. God is not here today, priest. Blammo.
Yeah, we hear that is repeated nonstop in this movie, including by other characters just saying, you know.
And these crucifixes cannot stay upright, folks. He's just keeps saying like, oh no, who keeps doing this?
Father Francis is praying at one point, right? And he like looks up from prayer and realizes the fucking crucifix is upside down on his wall. And he flicks it back the other way. And then when he walks out of the room, you actually have a shot of like the mirror and it's and I was like, that's the kind of like really just like subtle, small shit that movies like this should have.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the only moments where I was like, ooh, that's creepy.
Yeah, sure.
Well, yeah, because otherwise, most of this feels like scenes deleted from The Ghost in the Darkness.
Yes.
And like, I'd prefer watching that movie.
Yeah, give me some big ass lions.
Pretty good
dude.
movie.
Absolutely.
You know why? Because Michael Douglas, I am the devil.
Now, does he get so horny in that movie he ruins his life?
I don't know.
Nah,
Yeah,
I'm so horny for this fucking lion.
I tried to fuck the lion. It took me out. It just it split me right
Now
open.
that should have been called Fatal Attraction.
Got sink water all over the lion's ass.
Now, Val Kilmer, when your baby is born, you hold him very high, and so he can see me fucking the lion in the tall grass, as I will be doing.
So this is the big scene. This is the big scene at the well. Here's the little boy, Joseph, I believe, is sitting there having a chat with his monkey pal.
Yes.
A little monkey in this movie. That's pretty cute.
And Marin has given him a trowel at some point. A little he's like, oh, here, you want to dig? It's a professional thing. And it's like, the kid's very fond of it.
Yes. And then the older brother comes in and starts teasing him about the trowel and whatever, and they're fighting over it, and he's doing the like, I'm holding it up, you're too short to get it, kind of like brotherly
Classic.
Classic.
Oh, that's
older
this
brother
is actually
move.
where it was invented. The devil made them do that.
Pazuzu made keep away.
Oh no, it's spreading across the world.
The dark god of keep away, Pazuzu.
Father Marin looked out the window watching the two boys engage in keep away. He was relieved he was not erect.
But then
It was just a semi.
But then the flagpole emerged.
He said, I wonder what Sarah's doing. And yup, sure it was. He was hard again.
I wonder if anyone's played keep away with Sarah before. Oh, there it is.
Oh boy. Can't keep that away. Can't do that. No.
So as these kids are fighting or whatever, this fucking pack of CGI hyenas comes out of nowhere. One of these fuckers grabs this monkey, which has turned CGI in a shot, if you can even believe it.
The monkey turns evil for a second, right?
Well, the monkey's getting pissed off. I think.
I see. It's
And
a feral kind of a thing.
Smells
maybe
the
like
evil.
trying to warn or
I
something.
see.
Yeah,
Just regular monkey.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, he's just
Okay.
monkeying around. you
Yeah,
might say.
yeah.
But
It's going bananas.
this thing gets eaten immediately, and the two boys are like, "Holy shit!"
This
Sucks
kid,
to be him.
Yes,
This kid, Joseph, gets or is it James? James gets it.
James, the older boy. Yeah,
He gets fucking railed by these things, man.
Railed?
It is. They are ripping him to shreds.
Yes.
The little kid actor has to do, because I mean, like the kid isn't CGI. The things are, but he has to like flail on the ground. Renny Harlin's like, now, all right, for your motivation here is you're being eaten alive by, I don't know, 6 hyenas.
How much money do we have for hyena computers? Oh, it's just 4.
Yes, we buy the hyena computers to make the hyenas. They're special.
How old is this? He's 9 years old. Okay. So he's ripping your penis right now, right? That's where that one is. So give me a penis ripping scream. That's good.
And have you ever just talk to me? It's me and you right now. Have you ever imagined yourself being torn apart? Have you ever imagined? I know you're a young man, but have you ever imagined just your leg coming off your body because it's torn so hard.
Mr. Harlin, I don't think I want to be in pictures no more.
No, sit there and flail. Flail for me.
Now, normally I would love this, but it just doesn't feel earned and it looks like shit.
No, it looks awful. And honestly, I've said before, like, because this was back in the day, I was like, if you have the fucking guts to do that on screen, badass.
Yeah.
And now I'm
Yeah.
watching it 20 years later,
It
and I'm
looks
like,
like shit.
you fucking edgelord garbage.
Meanwhile, the little kid Joseph picks up the trowel and is like looking on, like, good, that's what you get, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's reveling in it for sure.
And the men come with guns. No one could shoot these hyenas.
Dude,
huh?
well, the father is like standing there, like frozen, and Marin comes up, like, oh, give me the fucking shotgun.
yeah.
And starts blasting these things. And man, if they didn't look bad enough already, them reacting to being shot looks way worse.
It was like PS1 Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Here's the hyenas coming.
Doom. It's
Yeah.
like Doom hitting the little
Yes.
brown guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yes,
it.
and they
Yeah.
just like fall into blocks of 16-bit red and orange. Like,
Well, Doom's about like hell opening up, right?
Sure. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it makes perfect sense.
It would. If the rest of the movie looked like that, that's great.
The hyenas carry the kid off and no one really follows.
I don't know if we find the body.
Are we giving up? Yeah, we're giving up. Okay, yeah. Tell the father. Do we have pills? Give him some pills.
We'll just be burying his night clothes then.
It's really, really awful. And so this is Father Francis is the one that implants the idea into Marin's head here. He's like, those hyenas acted as if Joseph wasn't even there.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Nice.
He's got to be the little evil fuck.
Yes, it's the young boys who are evil, not the priests. It's always the young boys that are the evil ones.
I wouldn't even believe a thing that kid said, by the way.
I know. I mean, they say anything. They'll say anything.
I mean, they
my
say the darndest things.
That's why I've been reassigned to Morocco.
Yeah.
This is my 4th reassignment this year.
I mean, exorcism case.
Yes,
yeah.
I'm finally taking on a new position. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't. No, no.
So the next day we go to the sanitarium because
Yes.
he's going to visit Monsieur Besson. There it is. And this is Patrick O'Kane, who was like a number 2 of Hux in the sequel trilogy.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Is this a show-stopping turn he's got here?
Oh, it sure is, dude. And so this is like Marin goes into the sanitarium and like it's your classic. And again, like this is actually kind of a creepy thing. Like he goes to open the door, it's totally locked. The dude is sitting at a desk. You can like see him through the barred window or whatever, and he's not getting up. And as soon as Marin is done, like, you know, jerking around with the door, the door opens by itself. Like, okay, cool. That is the level of like I just saw a kid get torn apart by Super Mario Brothers era fucking hyenas.
Yeah.
But this is the shit I'm looking for.
Yes.
Just give me a door opening by itself. You know what I mean? You don't have to go so over the top.
The sanitarium, which looks like, it looks like Ken Russell's The Devils was also here.
Absolutely.
I was
Absolutely.
waiting for Oliver Reed to come out and start talking to everybody.
Marin definitely does it great. Yep, he's definitely writing shit on the wall with his own feces in here, like he does a pee.
What did you see in there, Father Mark Marin? I saw they have so many guys. They got more than 5 guys. They got top 10 guys.
Listen, the guy in there, pow, he shit his pants. It smells really bad.
He won't be needing stamps.com where he's going.
You ain't gonna be writing any letters in hell.
Now you picked a pretty interesting place to put your swastika. Could you tell me about that?
Yeah, me and Kinnison one night got coke from Pazuzu. That was just
And Kinnison, I mean, it's fucking crazy. We're doing all this blow with Pazuzu, and the whole time Kinnison's just going, "What is with your snake cock?" Ah!
You wouldn't imagine it though. Pazuzu, calm as a cucumber.
Chill guy. Chill
Next
guy.
to Kinnison, even. I mean, the guy was a legend, but just didn't cool as a cucumber.
Did a set at the store. It killed.
But it was like really kind of like edgy and off-putting. We always had to put him in the small room. You know what I mean? He wasn't like main staging it at the store, but it was good shit, man.
Pazuzu was hooking up with Mitzi for a little while. And 9 months later, Paulie was born.
No, the weasel indeed, dude. Fucking hell weasel.
Nobody says it. Nobody dares to say it. But Albert Brooks got his whole thing from Pazuzu. The whole thing. It's just him.
defending your life. I mean, that was a Pazuzu bit, man.
He had a short. It was real life. It was the same thing. It's just, it's unbelievable somehow how they get away with it.
It was
like
just
that.
hard for him being a monkey-looking demon to get that movie made.
Anyway, next week we're going to have Dick Cheney.
All the hell all-stars.
But so, Besson turns around and he's got a swastika carved into his chest.
He calls him Father Marin, and
Yes.
he's like, how do you know my name? Again, like all shit that I'm like, yes, intriguing.
Sure.
And then he just repeats that line of like, there's no God here today, priest.
And here's the thing. How about this, dude? We're putting in the voice of the Nazi.
So now did the Nazi possess him? And the Nazi was like, this guy could use a swastika on this guy.
Gonna gussy this guy up a little bit.
No flair.
More like home. Here we go.
But no, I mean, that's an Exorcist. In the first movie, she's doing other guys' voices.
Sure, but like it's used sparingly and not for a fucking totally inconsequential scene like this.
And also, we find out later from this other priest, Father Gionetti, that he's not even possessed, he's touched. And I'm like, now what does that even mean? What are we even talking about?
Oh, great. Now the devil's just touching people.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's not, well, I guess it's like, it's not like a full-blown possession.
Yes.
Like he's not in you. It's just like you're doing his bidding or
It's
whatever.
like a learning disorder or something he gives you. Or...
He does cut his own throat.
Oh, yeah. There's a big piece of glass. This dude gets right to work. And it's kind of... It is another great someone standing by while someone else's body is ravaged by something. Because Marin is just like, well, I guess it was his time to go.
I'm seeing a lot of this week.
And I went back down to a semi after seeing that.
Father Genetti's played by, what's this guy's name?
David Bradley, the
great
Filch, the fucking janitor from the Harry Potter movies.
And Geppetto from Pinocchio did the voice.
Oh, right. Yeah, the GDT Pinocchio.
Yes, yeah.
And also he's some sister fucker on Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
He is.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Old man in Hot Fuzz with the bomb.
Yes.
I love that bit.
Oh, yeah. That is great.
And he's in this movie for he's like a priest, and he's just like, oh, yeah, he was touched, not possessed. By the way, you're going to need this, Father Marin. He's like, I don't do that anymore. And it's the Roman rituals of exorcism. And he hands him the book.
Now, here's the thing. I'm confident that this movie wants you to think that this is a book that Max von Sydow holds. Like, this is the exact copy that Max von Sydow holds in the Friedkin movie. And they expect the audience to go fucking ape shit while it's the fucking
Finally,
book!
the first movie makes sense. I know where the book is from.
Thank you for explaining that.
I love that movie. I was terrified. Where the fuck that book come from?
I've been thinking about it for 30 fucking years. Where'd you get that book, asshole?
It was 1976. I went with my girlfriend at the time. We got married, had kids. I was like, on the way home, she was crying. She's Catholic. She was terrified. I'm like, where the fuck that book come from?
Also, seems like that guy maybe once or twice in his life had a crisis of faith. Why aren't they telling me about that?
Well, anyway, I kept on bringing it up, and eventually she left me. Kids left me too.
I started writing the screenplay to Exorcist the beginning.
Hey, babe, do you think that priest gets hard ever?
Yeah, she's just Chloe Sevigny from fucking Zodiac. Slamming the fucking door.
The bad first date that never ended. Close the door.
Oh, man. That's a brutal moment.
It's a tough one to come back from.
Fuck. You can't. God damn it, you guys. Like, you can't bring up an amazing movie like that while we're talking about this.
Look,
now I just want to watch Zodiac.
My mind just goes there.
Well,
It's better stuff.
all right, let's just wrap it up and put on Zodiac.
Yeah, this is going to turn into a commentary track.
All right, starting at 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, we've had it queued up the whole time.
Ready to
just
go.
in case.
But now he's got the book. Woo!
Oh, yeah. You know how to cast all your fucking demon spells or whatever.
He goes back to camp. Meanwhile, the chief's wife has been pregnant.
Sure.
She gives birth to a stillborn baby that has maggots, and you better believe we're watching it.
Yes, this is more your edgelord stuff. Like, whoa, isn't that twisted?
I kind of can't believe they didn't score that scene to Slipknot. You know what I mean? Get the boys in there, get the double bass going.
Absolutely do. Or actually looking at this thing, maybe like some fucking Cannibal Corpse, like really do it.
Yeah, do it.
You know what I mean?
I put my fingers into my eyes as we do this. you know, it had to be Renny Harlin and be like, no, how about a fifth more of maggots, which is a fifth about, let me get somebody over here.
That's right.
Stellan,
her vagine was full of flies, and they were laying eggs. And
I mean, because that's the thing, right? Stillborn,
Sure,
baby, that
happens
happens
all
it's
the
fucking
time.
tragic. It's
Yeah.
awful.
awful.
And they react as such. I don't think they quite react as appropriately to this baby just came out and is indeed covered in maggots.
That's man.
But it's just like, if you can't get the actors there, maybe it's just a stillbirth.
The thing about this is I am all about show a gory kill, all that stuff. This is actually one of those things. It's better if you don't show it.
Yes.
And somebody is like, it was covered in, like,
have
just
someone
talk
disturbed
about it as disturbed.
describing it.
Hat in hand. Yeah.
Even though it was on the H feed, I think it was last year, Exorcist 3, which is much better than leaps and bounds.
Hell yeah.
And I mean, there's so much disturbing stuff in that movie, like really like shockingly like gory stuff, but they also temper it with other descriptions of really disturbing. Like they knew Blatty knew where to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's the seesaw.
Because he's a really good director.
Well, it's not about the shock value.
No.
Because you look at this fucking little dummy baby, and like the face is rotted off. It's like kind of a skeleton, and it's just like, what are you doing? Like, this is not adding anything. You're just being edgelord losers.
And I don't even know who this woman is. I've never met her before.
No, that's we speak about this character,
the chief's wife. Yes,
yeah, as if like we've had scenes with this woman. You don't even fucking see her until she's given birth.
Yeah.
And then it's
you see her vagina first, honestly.
When he gets the dig site or wherever, just be like, meet them and like, oh, she's far along,
look at you.
Establish it.
I mean, I just don't. This is another one of those things where I'm like, I would have rathered if you did not bring this up at all. Like, this is all part of that thing where I'm just like, focus on the devil temple.
And
the devil temple.
And just say like, oh my God, 2 women in the last week have given stillborn births.
Yep.
Whoa, creepy stuff. You know what I mean? I don't have to hear it.
Exactly.
I don't have to hear it. I don't have to see it.
Because that amps up your sense of dread.
Mhm.
It adds to the atmosphere and the tension, all of that shit. Everything that this movie is expertly unconcerned with.
But now the tribesmen are very concerned about little Joseph because they assume he is the vessel, and they're kind of trying to get him. Meanwhile, I think what you call it there, Alan Ford has given Sarah like a little St. Joseph's medal.
Yes.
And like she keeps losing it, kind of a thing, which I guess lets you know that she's.
There it is. That's it.
Yeah, Bricktop is not happy about this. He is also sweating like he just drank the street trash stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's got this glowy fucking mucus stuff all over his face.
This all, again, comes to nothing. Like, if this is happening with this guy, you expect it to be like, oh, he's like maybe a Renfield character.
Yes.
He's like working for the demon or whatever.
Yes,
He's just murdered at some point in the movie off screen by Sarah. It's some real fucking Seven looking shit.
Yes.
Or like when that's Jim Pembry there, god damn it.
Yeah.
In silence, and he's fucking hanging up on the
Like
thing.
he's like going to the bar or something looking for booze, and then like it's a jump scare. He goes, no, and then he's missing. And
yes,
then
because he's staring at the boy. I was like, oh, I am mighty ugly. Oh.
I think they said, like, it looks like, and I think someone even says that the Ravens like picked him to death.
Yes,
it looks
yeah.
like, because all of his bottom is just picked
You
off.
do see there is a raven like finishing off one of the eyeballs, like in the scene where he's discovered.
God, this is delicious. Nom. Oh boy.
One thing we did skip over, and it is just kind of funny because again, just not for an Exorcist movie, is when he like sits down with her. Father Merrin sits down with Sarah after one night of like, Joseph's health stuff was a real bummer, and she's saying how she's like struggling with it or whatever. And they're kind of just like making out for a little bit, and then like the bed just moves by itself, and it's like, oh, I guess we shouldn't be doing that then.
How about you don't do that around the kid that might be having the devil in him.
Yep.
How about that?
Yep.
Why don't you just leave your? I know the hard on is everywhere.
Because it's so hot, we might get caught by the devil himself.
But then again, he's making out with Pazuzu here, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like,
right.
if like Pazuzu don't make the bed move, you're gonna scare your man away here. You know what I mean? Like,
That's actually
entice
true.
the dude.
Perhaps it's a thing where Pazuzu is more concerned with getting this dude hard and then leaving him with blue balls.
I see.
Because I mean, that's like the ultimate. Like the devil gave you blue balls, dude. That's
we're skipping over the sexy shower scene.
yep.
Oh, my
Because you know
God.
what an Exorcist sequel needs? Fucking tits. And like
Uh-huh.
you get real close right here. There is some like in any other movie, I would qualify this as immaculate side boob.
Yes.
It absolutely is. And
Sure.
it has no business being in this movie.
And then immediately thereafter, she starts bleeding. You know, and
Which
she's
is
like,
impossible,
which
et
is-
cetera, et
Yeah,
cetera.
she
Yes.
says there's not the line is there's nothing left to bleed.
Oh,
she says to
that's a
Mary.
relief. I don't want kids.
and, something. I think he then is like he gets really up the ass about what's going on with this graveyard for a while. It's like,
Yeah, it's-
what about these graves? Hold on, you cremated the baby, but that's but
Yes.
what's in the graveyard then?
I don't care, man.
I know, I mean,
you'll
it's-
find the movie.
I'm gonna go out back digging through the graveyard. I might find
Right,
the
'cause
movie
it's just
there.
like, well, then who buried him? If who's on first, then who buried? And it's just like, oh my God. So they dig it up and there's nothing in there.
Yeah, which
They're
is-
empty graves.
While he's digging, the tribesmen come and try and kill Joseph, and Sarah is like held back, and then they get ripped apart by like some evil spirit. We assume it's Joseph, but it's obviously Sarah.
This was kind of rad because it's like they're trying to hold the kid down and he's like vibrating or whatever, and like one dude's like fingers break back,
Yeah,
and the other
right.
dude's like shin bone comes out, and it's kind of cool. It is again like it's probably the best CGI in the
Sure.
movie. But once again, folks, I plead to the court, not for this movie. It's just a different fucking vibe.
Well, how about another different vibe? What if the British military showed up for no reason?
Let's bring him in. Why not? Hey,
Yeah.
fucking room for 18 more, folks. Let's
It's
come on.
Because when they find Alan Ford and he's picked apart, the British military is like, oh my God, a white man has been killed. We need to, and I mean, sure, I get what we're talking about, colonialism here, yada, yada. It's like, we need to whip these guys into shape. And there's this like captain guy.
Major Granville,
Major
dude.
Granville,
Oh,
of course.
God.
Easiest to give up his own life in this movie.
That whole fucking like Twin Peaks, the return shit that with the fucking the insect going in and then coming out. I was like, for some reason, of all the things that I was just stapling, like, what the fuck does this matter?
No.
That I was just losing it. I was like, why have this scene? Who
But
cares?
it's fucking hilarious because like he's met like way back at the beginning of
Sure.
the movie at the consulate
Yeah,
and whatever. So he comes in and assesses the situation and he's like, all right, my men are coming in. They're gonna supervise the dig from now on.
Mhm.
Blah 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 blah
We're gonna
blah.
start shooting if anyone gives us any guff.
Yeah, exactly. But like it's so funny because at like the slightest hint of like something paranormal is afoot, this dude commits suicide.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
is a crazy, like he sees something spooky outside. I don't even know if you see whatever he sees. And he runs back in the tent and he's like, I just got to take a minute. And he's sitting there and like some dude comes in and it's like, oh, Major, there's it. He's like, I said, get out of here.
Yeah.
And he's like standing there. He's looking at all his little mounted butterflies. Like that's his
his-
little project or whatever.
Right.
And they all start flapping, and he's like, "Oh, this is too much for me." And then the butterfly comes out of his mouth, and he's like, "Now, fuck it!" And just blows his brains out.
Steve, would you do that?
Oh, sure. I mean,
Just
what-
right then and there?
what do-
assassinate the
what do I
butterfly.
gotta live for?
I know you would do that. That makes sense. I thought maybe he was possessed
And then
to
he-
shoot himself, but
I think that, I mean, like, it doesn't matter because it doesn't really like
No.
affect anything.
But
Like,
you said so. That's kind of interesting, right? That's interesting. Like Pazuzu, real commentary on how he feels about colonialism. Fuck these people.
well, the only
Kill
reason
yourself.
they're even there is to do the symmetry for the beginning
Yes.
of having all these British people be
war
dead at
to
the end.
happen.
yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
and we know that Pazuzu is an animal lover, and we're introduced to this piece of shit suffocating a butterfly for his
That's
own,
true.
you know, giddies.
yeah. Pazuzu loves butterflies, loves hyenas. He should have had those butterflies like really attack people.
Oh yeah, just
that'd be
cover
cool.
them.
Yeah.
There's a Fulci movie where like a lady dies from just a bunch of snails being on her. That'd be great.
Well, that does sound nasty.
Bring that on
Yeah.
with the butterflies.
And then you salt the whole thing and all the snails die and everything.
The heroic moment.
There's something at the funeral where, because this is Marin like trying to figure out like the cemetery shit or whatever, and this is where he's like, oh, you know, you cremate your dead, you don't bury him. Who's in that cemetery? And he's like, I want to know what's going on here. And one of the dudes like says something to the translator guy, and he's like, what did he say or whatever? And he says he doesn't have to tell you what's happening because it's happening again right now.
Whoa.
And I'm like, whoa, the mystery.
Well, I am getting a little hard, so I guess so.
It's this movie that it's this mystery rather that the movie is wholly unconcerned with.
Yep.
But it's the most interesting part of the movie.
Because later, again, James Darcy just shits it out. It's like, oh, something. We had a hot tip that this is where Satan fell from. Like,
yes, that's right.
We had the coordinates on where he fell from heaven, and it landed right here.
What fucking bullshit cartography nonsense is that? Oh, this is where Gabriel landed.
Yes.
Well, or Lucifer, rather. Excuse me.
Lucifer landed there. I guess like Noah with a telescope or something. Like, how would this?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, it's like 40 paces south.
No, it's Lucifer just right there. It's right there. It's like, woo.
But as to the question of who made the fake cemetery and everything, that was the Vatican. It's this whole like Vatican cover-up thing.
Yeah, because it's funny. They keep going to this place to investigate, and then everyone dies, and then they don't learn their lesson ever.
Right, because the whole thing is below this buried church is a pagan ritual site.
Sure.
Which is what they discovered. So the Vatican sent people there and built the church over it to seal everything up, and then buried the church so nobody would find it. And now, all these years later, the colonizers have found it again, and
there will never be a person whose entire job is about digging shit up. It's never gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
Why would they dig? What are they gonna dig for?
Everything's here. You look around, it's there.
North Africa in the 40s, maybe an original draft. There was like the Nazis found it, but then they were like, "This is just Indiana Jones."
You absolutely cannot have Nazis making that discovery.
Yeah.
You're getting fucking sued by Paramount. No worries.
I would like that.
Oh, what do you got there, Squirt? Oh, is that a Pazuzu head? Sorry, Rick. What can I get for these?
You're not going to get any letters of transit with a Pazuzu idol. I'll tell you right now. Get there out of there, Umgatu.
I'm shocked to find that Pazuzu is here possessing people. Shocked.
Well, you know, Sugar Palm will always have the demonic hell site.
Yes.
So Father Francis is like, hey man, so that's the gist of everything.
Yes.
You need to fucking don the cape and collar once again. And you need to help out here. And it's again like the hero is asked to step up. And again, like a bad improv scene, he refuses to participate.
Sure.
Like, no, I'm not that anymore.
Because it's God isn't here, priest. I shot that little girl. And I mean, it just, the whole structure of the movie is like, it's so much story, it's all backstory. It's all, almost nothing happens. It's all people saying, this happened before this movie happened.
The cruel irony of that being what a prequel is built upon is very frustrating.
We needed a sequel to this, Exorcist, the beginning, so we can dig into that.
Listen to me. Third time's a charm. We did Exorcist at the beginning. We did Dominion. How about we call it Rapture Palooza or something? And
it takes place in 2049, and the rapture is occurring, and Father Marin is half android.
Yep.
Morgan Creek doesn't exist anymore, right?
No idea.
I don't know.
I need my friend Christbot to help us, right? And he gets like the Transformers to help, and they, oh no, it's a Chrysler, says Pazuzu when Jesus, the Chrysler Sebring, shows up.
Hello,
Father Marin. I am going to help you dispel the demon Pazuzu.
Yeah. The Pazuzu charm is like the fucking Allspark device or whatever.
Optimus, you're not coming in this house. It's not happening, baby.
Remember when I said that there were demons? It turns out there was car people.
But imagine being this bad at your job. You're like, hey, man, hey, Frank, we got those Exorcist rights. Get me a prequel to The Exorcist. Nothing too expensive. You know what I mean? Just turn it around, something for around Halloween. We got a spooky movie. So we made a movie. I liked it, but I hated it so much that I tripled the budget, and we're going to release both of them, and they're both going to lose money.
It is one of the greatest Hollywood cock-ups of all time.
Yes, it is.
Just the absolute, like, as we sit here, as we're recording this, the writer's strike has ended. The actor strike is still going on, but we are just now in a sea of hearing about studio incompetence.
Yes.
And here's just another one of those stories where you're like, man, you got fucking paid at a job to do this.
Because guess what? When Schrader shows up with the whole movie that isn't the movie you wanted, that's the movie you got. And that's kind of, you know what I mean? Just cut bait, release it, and it would have been what it was. And now we've got, someday, Chris, we'll get the Ayer cut, right? We'll get the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad.
I want it so bad. I know it's a piece of shit. I can't wait.
Do you think it actually exists, though, or he's just full of absolute shit?
I believe. Snyder, I never believed that.
I mean, he did it, though.
But
he was like shooting shit in his garage, dude. Like, that movie wasn't fucking finished.
No, it wasn't. No. The thing they were always talking about does not exist.
Oh, of course. No, yeah.
But the Ayer thing, I believe Ayer had a actual big, absolutely disastrous cut.
Yeah.
That would probably at least be more interesting than what I had to watch.
Is it has it been
to
reported?
Need a prequel to Suicide Squad?
That's just like a Batman movie. I think.
Yeah, it's good.
But what is supposed to be so different about it other than it's longer? Is it
I think it was supposed to be a little more
violent
action. Yeah.
Maybe
more
less Batman.
Maybe less magic would be fucking great.
That
Probably a lot
be.
more Joker is the idea.
That's kind of
more Leto Joker.
If that's the case, the theatrical cut is quite enough.
It's kind of a Pazuzu movie with that lady Enchantress,
Yeah, it's
right?
true.
She's got Pazuzu up her Wazuzu.
That was a line they cut, Eric.
That's actually pretty good.
You're welcome.
That stayed in the episode.
Oh, geez. Think about all the ones that he cuts out from.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, real good ones.
So the last act of this movie really is they basically the
Brits and the Tarkana are about to fight each other.
Exactly. 'Cause they're all revved up and horned up, and that guy killed himself.
Right.
So this guy shows up, escalates the situation, and then kills himself to get out of it.
Smart move.
Yep, exactly.
I like it.
And Marin is like, oh, so the Tarkana are all 100% convinced that the little boy, Joseph, is possessed and he's bringing the evil, and they're going to try to kill him. Father Francis, you have to get this kid out of here. He tries to get him in the back of a Jeep and get this dude to fuck off. And then, straight out of fucking Ghost Protocol, there's a sandstorm coming, and it's like, now we can't leave the town. And you're like, all right.
The only place the Tarkana won't go in is the hidden temple, so that's where we're gonna go.
Yep.
I'll just go get my girlfriend. I'm not hard yet, but I'll be hard in about 4 seconds.
Just wait. When when the moon is up about this high, I'm gonna be hard. Right there, right there in the sky. That's when I'm hard.
Gotta wait for the moon to get in a certain position before I can get hard. I call it a werewolf boner.
Have you ever heard of astrology?
His boner's affected by the tides.
The tide is out, and so's my dick. It's out, you see. I took it.
There it is.
All right.
I'm a Leo. That means I'm hard all the time.
I do love, there's another, I would love to know the amount of money this specific useless effect shot cost. He goes to Sarah's quarters.
Yeah.
He's looking around. Her place is all sorts of fucked up. And it's like rumbling and whatnot. The storm's coming in. Shit's falling off the wall or whatever. There is a moment. He doesn't, the character of Father Marin doesn't even see this. I guess it's just something for us.
Oh,
he's standing in this room, and there's a mirror on the wall, and everything's rumbling and shit. And a half a second before this mirror falls to the ground and shatters, a fucking Freddy Krueger face pops out of it.
Yeah.
Scary.
For what?
Scary.
It's not. It's stupid.
Come on, Pazuzu, come back. Come on, Pazuzu. Don't just show up like that and then disappear. Come on,
Oh,
Pazuzu.
he's in the mirror realm now.
I can do what Leno does, Mark. Don't think for 1 second I couldn't do what Leno does. That's right, Dark Lord. You certainly can. Thank you for my opportunities.
Whatever. We're dragging this kid down into the cave church.
He finds the picture of her.
Oh,
and
sure.
Dacian. He's like, they were married. Oh my God, she's the one that's possessed. And it's like, it's kind of so stupid that in an exorcism movie to have the switcheroo. Like the whole fucking point of any exorcism movie is to watch the process of it. It's like, oh wow, look at this. I mean, Reagan, you watch her deteriorate to this thing, and then her voice changes. The whole thing, the ice and blah blah blah. Like we only get like fucking 9 minutes of that. You know what I mean? And it's incredibly stupid.
But and also because you haven't spent the whole movie with the knowledge that Sarah is the one that's possessed.
Exactly.
You don't give a shit.
No.
Like you're invested in the salvation of Reagan.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the whole movie. You are rooting for this to happen. And this movie, it's like you spend all this time thinking this poor little boy is the one that's possessed. So that's where all your emotion lies or whatever. And then the movie is just like, it's this woman for no reason.
I'm gonna have to seduce Pazuzu.
I'm gonna fuck you clean, Sarah. I'm gonna fuck you clean, Pazuzu.
That's more Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which Liam Neeson was supposed to be Father Merrin.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because Neeson looks more like Max von Sydow.
Yeah.
But then Skarsgård's Swedish, so it kind of goes one way or the other.
Totally. Yeah, totally. But like, now I'm trying to, it's been a minute. We haven't recorded the WLM yet, so it's been a while since I've rewatched Exorcist. Is he von Sydow putting on a non-von Sydow voice, or is he just naturally talking?
He's just doing
He is okay.
Yeah.
I could, for whatever reason, I was sort of like falsely remembering like some sort of attempt at a British accent.
No.
Okay,
He's just doing von Sydow.
I'm just doing what I've always done, Andrew. You stupid idiot.
You vomiting on me too? Or does everybody want to turn?
Why would I ever change? This is what they're paying for, you fucking fat idiot. This is what brings in the big bucks.
Honestly, man, I would love to be haunted by that guy. I have so many questions. We just stay up all night. I'm talking to a ghost.
What was really unsettling about Max von Sydow I came across recently? I rewatched Minority Report. Didn't really like it.
I saw you didn't care
Thank
for
you.
it.
Eric, we're
Didn't
best
like
friends again.
Yeah.
I am also.
we were on the outs.
Oh, we were totally on the outs.
Oh shit!
Wow, that was news to me too.
No, I really, when I rewatched Minority Report, I really disliked it as well.
I'm scared now because the last time I saw it, I've seen it multiple times. I fucking loved that movie.
Out of your mind.
I think Spielberg's sci-fi run was the worst in his career. Not like E.T., but like what is
War of the Worlds.
AI War of the Worlds and
PU,
Minority
PU,
Report.
PU.
But in that movie, Max von Sydow's in it and Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And when they have scenes together, it looks like the Gandalf and the Hobbit. Like Max von Sydow's skull is 3 times the size of Tom Cruise's.
That's incredible.
It's like a dinosaur hanging out with him. I don't know what's going on.
Max von Sydow is the father of Slender Man.
Yeah,
he
I
was the
believe
one.
it.
He was the one. He was the
I'm
seed
so
giver.
disappointed in what my son did with the family mansion.
But speaking of Von Sydow Haunted, there's something that came across my X feed. I would never say Twitter. That's so silly.
No, it's
But
X.
It's X now.
I feel like, Steve, you are using that site more now that it is X than you did when it was Twitter. And it's very weird.
Well, you're using the ship more when it's going down.
Exactly. I want to see the end of it.
Trying to get all of its food and shit.
Yeah, rearrange those deck chairs.
It's like the last 50 pages of Salem's Lot. Like, oh, shit's getting tight now. The fucking village is burning. Oh boy. So
Ooh, more pornography?
Yeah.
Sure.
But it's a clip of Max von Sydow on speaking of haunted people, Charlie Rose talking about Bergman. He's like, oh, we would talk very often about the afterlife, you see, and he would say, I said, I don't believe in the afterlife, and he's like, I will prove it to you when I die. And he's like, so were you haunted by Bergman? Say, that's too personal to answer, but yes. And it's like, oh So Bergman was like fucking haunting him, man.
That's awesome.
He's like, oh, he's come to me many times. It's like this really kind
okay, I believe in the answer.
He was doing with Bergman what I want to do with him. Stay up all night talking with a ghost.
Now, why would I talk to you about this stuff, Charlie Rose? That's a private matter, and you are a moron, and I hear a monster, just in the hallways.
Oh, Bergman he sees what you do when the lights are out, Charlie. He's told me.
He
Now-
sees how you conduct yourself around the office place.
Now, the hour of the wolf. What kind of title is that? What does it mean? I didn't see a wolf in the film. I'll be honest with you, and I don't know what's going on. You are an idiot.
So they go, and the fucking thing's haunted. It's a snowy church now. We go down into the scary part. James Darcy is just dead. You know what I mean? Like
He has apparently had his heart ripped out of his chest.
Cool.
Off screen.
It is
That's
a fucking,
good.
but it's so inappropriate for this movie. Like, so Skarsgård's walking down the hallway, and yet it's snowy because if you'll recall,
It gets
it
cold.
snowed the day that the fucking Nazi killed all those
And
people.
also hell freezing over.
And he is following the ghost of he sees the little girl.
Yeah.
I don't think you see her get shot in the head a third time. I think it's just the two times.
Boo!
So that's all the snow shit. And as he's walking, he's like, wow, this is very creepy. And then this dude, like he got by Michael Myers,
Yes.
fucking falls down from the ceiling and he's like tied up to something. And you're like, again, no one who made this movie saw any of the other movies, right?
No.
Like, this is just a completely inappropriate speed for this shit. But yeah, he's dead.
Mind if I take your robe? I'm just gonna get.
Oh, that's where he got it. That's where he got the robe.
Oh, it's the same fucking scarf that he had. No,
the
it's
scarf.
It's a dime a dozen. It's the fucking purple scarf. They wear it from this time of the year to this
Yes.
time of the year.
Oh, yeah.
I hope he washed it.
It is kind of hilarious, though. Just like, well, you won't be needing this anymore.
Uh-huh.
But you need some sort of like this is the moment where he's refinding his
Yes.
faith, and he's been kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
talking to God at this point and saying prayers while he's walking in there. When he puts the scarf back around or whatever it is, like, you need like a music cue. You need something that's like,
yes.
here he is finding whatever.
Yes, Amy Grant, you're still the one.
Yes.
Just to fucking knock it right out. That's your back.
We
You're
don't
back
do-
with your main man.
We don't do Tubular Bells at all, do we? Right? We don't have that. We don't have that great the thing the big.
The eerie
What?
music
The
of the
eerie music.
original.
Tubular Bells?
Isn't that what it's called? I
called?
believe it is.
Is that the Oldfield? Maybe.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know.
I believe that's the name of the theme. The
Oh, I
Exorcist.
did not know that. So I had no idea what you were talking about. The answer is no, but there is a janky fucking knockoff version that plays over the credits at the end.
Ugh.
It is Tubular Bells.
I thought, you know what I was thinking of when you said Tubular Bells? What's that fucking Mannheim Steamroller Christmas song with something bells?
Oh yeah, no,
I thought you were talking, and I was like, no, Steve, that doesn't play in this movie.
no, yeah. But why? That's like the icon. I mean, like, just do it. Then he puts
Yeah.
it on, and then people
Yep.
are like, yeah, he's putting it
He's
on.
doing it.
He's doing the thing.
And it
But
goes
that would
on. Yep.
cost money, I guess.
Yeah.
So let's not do it.
Yeah, let's just make a fucking
Yeah.
a bootleg version that we'll put
Yep.
over the closing credits there. Absolutely.
And then she starts running at this dude like a Dragon Ball Z character. Like,
that is the worst part of it. We have some like shenanigans and some inner sanctum thing, and then
Yeah.
he thinks like it's all over with or whatever,
Ugh.
and he's taking the kid back out. And all of this, I gotta tell you, there is some fucking like Aaron Sorkin walk and talk exorcism
Yes.
shit. I don't appreciate this because he says to Joseph, he's like, "All right, kid, like, can you read the book?" He's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I can read." It's like, "All right, this is your part, and then this is my part." And
Yeah.
he explains to him like the back and forth or whatever. But then they're just walking down the hallway doing this exorcism thing.
and he's off book already. Like this, the Baron hasn't seen this book yet.
And here is the thing. That's a great point. And this is a thing where it's like the movie has not told you at any point whatsoever that this dude has fucking gotten down and dirty with exorcism.
No.
He's
Yeah.
not the exorcist expert that he is in The Exorcist.
Yes.
So you are supposed to believe, I guess in some version of the script, that this is his first fucking time at the dance.
Yes.
But you're totally right. Like, this isn't a fucking mandated thing that somebody, you know, going through the priesthood studies learns. Like, this is extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that says like he would know this, but you're right. I didn't even think about that. He's off book. The kid's got the book. He knows all the hard parts. This kid's just amening up and down the block, whatever.
He's ambitious. He wants a higher degree of being.
It's so stupid.
It's horse shit.
Speaking of dialogue, this is your favorite line, which I believe is, "You wanted to stick your rotten cock up this juicy ass."
It is. That's exactly what it is. Yep. Juicy and all. Yeah.
Was it rotten cock?
Yeah.
Your rotten cock up this juicy ass. And I was like, is that anachronistic? Were we saying juicy ass in 1949?
No, Pazuzu looked into the future.
But she's possessed. Wouldn't she have the rotten ass and he would have the juicy cock?
That's a great question.
Well, but if you're like the demon, right?
Yeah.
You're like put off by how a regular person looks.
Right, I
Like,
don't
look
like
at that
that.
rotten dick, but look at my disgusting but beautiful juicy ass.
Yes, because there's
I'm a
actual
demon.
juice coming out of it. Probably.
Oh, yes. The secret
Yeah.
of the ooze.
My leaky ass. Yeah, exactly.
To better lube you with.
It's like one of those like fucking big pharma commercials for some prescription whatever that's supposed to be like, I don't know, diabetes medicine, and it's like side effects may include a leaky anus, and you're like, I don't know about that.
I'm good to go, man.
Maybe back to formula on the diabetes medicine that makes your ass leak.
I don't need the diabetes stuff. Can I just get the leaky ass pill?
I need some leaky ass medicine.
Gonna get there eventually anyway.
I like the Schrader down there. I like to wet it up a little bit.
Well, you still got those the low calorie potato chips that make you shit yourself. Odine.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, Olestra.
Olestra, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was fucking Slip City when you were in a bag of those chips. Look out.
Bring them back.
I mean, this part gets very Evil Dead as well. Like, it's just,
That's the thing is, you could have just made an exorcism movie. You didn't have to
Yes.
try to bend over backwards to connect every single fucking
Nah,
dot.
but she does literally bend over backwards.
oh yeah, she does that for no reason.
It's just because in
They do
the
in the
fucking
movie.
Friedkin director's cut, Reagan does the spider walk, and this is like a thing, or the crab walk, excuse me. Like, this is just a thing to top that. And you do, speaking of fucking Dragon Ball Z, dude, she turns into an outright cartoon character. And there's one part where he he does something to like piss off the demon, and she turns from being the woman from GoldenEye into a cartoon and flies across this cave and is crawling on the wall. It looks so terrible.
It's bad.
Absolutely awful.
Give her I don't know what her abilities are otherwise, but like let her play this character now that it's fun and demonic and stuff. Don't be like, it's just all CGI shit for most of it.
What's the matter, Marin? Don't want to fuck me anymore.
Yeah.
That's another line.
And
that's
it's
got
like,
there.
it would have been more interesting if she turned earlier in the movie,
Yes.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and then you got an exorcism movie.
And yet, so, like I did not understand how this movie was an hour and 53 fucking minutes.
Oh my God. I couldn't stand it.
Honestly, I'll tell you right now, I think you shave off literally 30 minutes if you cut out every fucking Holocaust flashback.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch that we glossed over, folks. We did not talk about them, but it is fucking a Holocaust by the barrelful in this movie.
He just has the power of Christ compels you, and she gets.
I cast you out.
Yes, because they're running at each other at this point, which is so stupid. Because I mean, I guess like the idea is like, this ain't your mama's exorcism. She's not. This isn't a little girl tied up in a bed. This is a grown woman. You running at him, and I'm like, okay,
running at him like the crazy Jessica Rabbit towards
Yes,
Bob
yes,
Hoskins.
yes,
Like
exactly.
just like hands going everywhere, running through the fucking hole.
And then in a weird moment, and I guess it's because of the fall, like she's not possessed anymore, and there's a little bit of like he's holding her, like, oh, thank you, whatever. And then out of nowhere, like the back of her head just opens up and she just starts bleeding out and dies. And I'm like, what?
That the way it's coming out, there's no way it's just a hole. There's a faucet on the back of her head. It's just pouring out.
I guess
Someone opened a spigot.
Yeah,
dude, it's
That's
just
what
flowing.
Pazuzu. There's a little Pazuzu-sized hole outside of the back of her head. Like he left.
Oh, yeah. There's the Pazuzu exit wound. We got to do the priests come and do like the crime scene investigation.
Ah, yes.
That'd
But
be
it's
great.
weird because, right, like the whole thing is in that first Exorcist movie, Father Karras
Yes. Come into me.
Yes, instructs Pazuzu to come into his body, and then he overpowers it and kills himself.
Sure.
Thus eradicating the demon. What happens here is she's saved. She has a total moment of clarity, but then dies.
Yeah.
So where did the demon go? And then they cut to the kids standing there, and you're like, oh, at least I did. I thought for a second, like, oh, now it's in him and this fucking movie. But then Skarsgård is just like, she's with God now. And that's the end of it.
Yeah, and then they come up and they see all of the damage that this has done. Everybody's dead because they've been fighting each other.
It looks like the beginning.
Can you even stand it? Also, like, if you're doing that, that's the last shot of this movie.
No. You got to have him dressed up in his priestly garb, walking into the CGI sunset of Rome or whatever this is.
Well, he meets like fucking Ben Cross for like a quick cappuccino.
Again.
And it's like, it's like, I didn't find the Pazuzu statue. It's like, but you found something. And it's like hat on, and it's like, get the fuck out of here.
Au revoir, Mr. Marin. It's Father Marin.
Are you sure about? Can you just quit like that and come back and just say you're back?
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of like re-registration process.
You got to go
something.
through it all over again.
A questionnaire, like what the fuck did you leave in the first place for?
Yeah.
What have you been up to since you left the church?
Oh, you've been getting erections in Africa. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that.
That's what they should have called this movie, man. Erections in Africa, the prequel to The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Get the Tubular Bells going on that.
Get Brazzers to co-finance.
Oh man, but the credits hit to this like fake Tubular Bells.
Yes.
And it's pathetic. This
Well,
movie is pathetic.
Yep.
That is the end of it. Go around the horn here. Final thoughts. Chris Cab.
Horrible. Don't watch it. I don't think there's anything worthwhile here. Even Stellan, it's nice to see him leading a movie. I guess it was not that long after Insomnia. So,
Yeah, I was
that's
trying
like
to think,
98, 97, I think.
something like that around there.
And that
Great movie, by the way.
A very good movie, a breakout role for him. But other than that, kid deaths, they're only so exciting. It's not really going to do that much for me. And Renny Harlin, baby sweetheart, do what you're good at. Just, this is not it. It's not it. I'd prefer you working with Andrew Dice Clay, frankly.
Yeah, no, that's true. I'll jump in and just say horrendous, hardcore, no, awful movie. I'm glad. I think I was worried on the last episode that I was going to come out of this like, it's better than I remembered. It's fucking worse than I remembered. Thank God. Totally awful. Do not bother with this. Even if you're some sort of like, I dig on The Exorcist, but I've never like dabbled in those sequels. I'm even fine with you watching the John Borman one, dude. Exorcist 2, Heretic, whatever. But this, stay the fuck away. Steve Sadak.
I think this is like a Jurassic Park situation. I think we got the first one that's great.
Yep.
And that's kind of it. And I mean, like, I do think that 3 has a lot of merits. It also has some things going on that aren't so great. Like the actual, when they force the exorcism at the end of the movie, you're like, what the fuck's even happening?
Yeah, it's a bad movie.
But there's a lot of cool stuff in part 3, which is kind of fun. But it's not a great movie to my knowledge anyway, or the way I see it.
A lot of people like it. I kind of agree with
this
you.
This is
Steve.
Steve's final thought. If you'll excuse him, Chris Cabin.
Yeah, he's getting nasty. No, but I think that like you got the first one, and I'm sure I don't need to see what David Gordon Green's going to do with it, but that's the job, folks. That's what we do here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clock in for that one.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. This one's going on the old tax return deduction form.
Yeah, that's all I got. Fuck this movie. It's
Eric
like,
Siska, take us home.
Yeah, I think everyone summed it up pretty well. I will also just underline too long.
Yes. Hour 54, I think.
Too long. I do kind of miss these big, bloated budget, mid-sized piece of shit movies, but too long. Yeah, there's just nothing here. So obviously a no from me as well.
That's right. So that is going to do it for this episode on The Exorcist Beginning. Yeah, it's garbage, of course. But on the Patreon next week, I believe it is, the WLM on The Exorcist, the William Friedkin movie, rest in peace, by the way, is coming out. And I know that's going to be a lot of fun. I fucking love that movie. One of my favorite horror movies. It's going to be a great conversation. So check that out. Patreon.com/WeHateMovies. If you are getting this already on the ad-free feed, which is the $8 level or up on the Patreon, we thank you for being the kick-ass Patreon subscriber that you are. If you're bumming about commercials, maybe head over there. Patreon.com/WeHateMovies. You can sign up. $8 level or up gets you ad-free episodes just like this very one you've listened to. We also have an AD coming out this month.
That's right, on South Park's corn episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Kind
Kind
of
of
a Halloween thing.
yeah, that's
nice.
a little companion to the cornmentary, the corncast. Yeah,
That's right. Oh, the Corncast, which
And-
again reminds me we have to do the Limp Bizcast at some
Limp
point.
Bizcast.
Yeah.
for
That's a
sure.
2024 promise. Let's
Yes,
put it that
we're
way.
gonna do that. But
Yeah.
this month also commentary track on Society.
Oh,
big
yeah.
one
Oh,
there.
Yes, it was Steve's first time watching it. So please, and that's the great thing about signing up for that $8 level. That's included at the $8 level. But if you
That's
want to
right.
step it up, there is that $10 level with Melrose 210. And what else, Chris Cabin? There's something coming out this month on that level.
The
The Lifetime.
Once in a
Of the
lifetime.
life, yeah, once in a lifetime. Once again, coming back, we're talking about a doll movie, Killer Under the Bed.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
Hell fucking yeah. Killer Under the
featuring
Bed.
like a puppet that probably cost 5 cents to make in total.
I'll tell
Really
you what,
something.
I had way more fun watching Killer Under the Bed than I did watching this piece of shit.
90
movie.
minutes,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
90 minutes.
Can't beat it.
Precisely. But here on the main feed, of course, the show continues next week. Little break from the Spooktacular. We got to pull over to the side of the road to celebrate episode 700. And Steve Sadak, how are we ringing in this milestone?
It'll be my first time watching Bushwhacked.
fuck yes.
Yeah.
Daniel
Hell yeah.
Stern, the cult comedy that never was.
Yes.
We're trying to establish people. We're trying to establish it as a cult status. Get into this movie, folks. Kind of hard to find right now. It goes in and out of streaming, and it looks like it might be out. But I believe just talk to Chris Cabin's friend Cameron Ripley.
Cameron
who might be able to
Ripley,
find it for you.
Telly Sincalis.
Yes,
I
Dr.
believe-
Torrent-Reno.
I believe our good friends to the north and also in the UK have said that they are blessed enough to have Bushwhacked on Disney Plus.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank God.
So there is that, but it is Daniel Stern at the height of his mid-90s powers. It is a movie you cannot make today, and I
really
mean
love
that.
it.
It is a movie where he plays
it.
a total scumbag who's accidentally or intentionally mistakenly put in charge of children. He's waving a gun in their face. He's doing. He's smoking in front of it is a movie that is so of its time. It's amazing. And Daniel Stern is fucking hilarious in it.
Yes.
I really hope
Yes.
Steve is as hyped for it as the three of us are.
I'm excited.
It's a childhood favorite of mine, but that is going to usher in episode 700 on this long-running train of ours, and we thank you for being a part of that. And until next week with Bushwhacked, I've been Andrew Jupin.
Steven Sadak.
Eric Siska.
Chris Cabin.
Take it easy.
We all go a little mad sometimes. You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
Sometimes that is better.
Zombies have entered the building. They're at the door. They're coming in.
It is time to keep your appointment with the Wicker Man.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
He's sick for fuck's sake. You've seen one too many movies.
Now, Sid, don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
What's the fucking notion in the band?
What an excellent day for an exorcism.